Father Joe's Village partnered with the University of San Diego's Transborder Institute to highlight the issues of cross-border homelessness in a public forum tomorrow night called Homelessness in San Diego, What Makes Good Neighbors. On the panel are my guest, Ruth Bruland, Executive Director of St. Vincent de Paul Village, and Ev Mead with USD's Transborder Institute. Welcome to Evening Edition.
Thanks.
Now, Ruth, give us a snapshot. How many homeless people are in San Diego and about how many are from Mexico?
We have about 8,500 in all of San Diego County. We're the 5th most populous county, but have about the 3rd largest homeless population. In terms of people coming from Mexico, it's very hard to give a count for that. For us, it's about 1% of the single men and women that we serve and about 7% of our families.
And Ev, what can you tell us about these people who are homeless, either living on the border, crossing back and forth, who they are?
Well, so there's a large and growing homeless population in Tijuana. People may be familiar with El Bordo, the drainage canal that runs along the border. There are about 4,000 people living there alone. Most of those people have been deported from the United States, and a lot of them have a lot of connections to the United States. About half of them speak English. A significant portion lived in the United States for more than 5 years, and they get to Mexico, and they don't even have a photo ID. They don't have any resources, and they're kind of stuck between the immigration policy in the United States and a lack of options in Mexico.
So is that why they're staying on the border, or are there other reasons?
Yeah, most of them have family in the United States, and they either hope to come back to the United States at some point, or they'd like to be somewhere close so that it's easier for the family to communicate with them or visit with them. But a lot of them, it's a long-term hope that they'll come to live in the place that they consider their home, which is the United States.
And Ruth, when a homeless person who's undocumented comes to get help, what sort of services do you provide?
The first time that someone comes to us who is undocumented, we're going to do an assessment. We're going to find out if there's a way that maybe we can link them with services that will help them to get documented. For our families, many times domestic violence is part of the issue, and so there are some avenues that one can take to get documentation. If someone has come to us a couple times, however, and nothing has changed in their circumstance, then we know that there isn't a lot that we can do. We're all about income and housing at the village, so if there are limitations to that, we only are going to be a safe haven for about 30 days, and then they have to leave us, so that bed is open for someone for whom we really can make an impact with income and permanent housing.
Do you have to report to any federal agencies?
No, we're not required to do that, so all that we are concerned about is that neighbor helping neighbor, being that person who's trying to help someone to get to that next best place.
And Ev, how has the surge, or I should ask you, has the surge in deportations, has it contributed to sort of this cross-border homeless issue?
Definitely, and in particular in Tijuana and in Mexicali. I was talking on Friday with the former governor of Baja California, who is a business owner in Mexicali, and he was expressing the extreme frustration that local officials feel all along the border. On the one hand, they're humanitarians, and they understand that a lot of these folks don't have good options. But on the other hand, they're trying to run businesses. They feel like they've got this population that no one's responsible for. They feel like crime and vandalism have gone up. They feel like there are threats to public health, and they feel like both Mexico City and Washington, D.C. haven't done very much to address this issue.
And specifically in Tijuana, how do services for homeless compare to those in San Diego?
They're very different. There are very few public services, but there's a very good network of nonprofits and church-based groups who provide a lot of food and basic health services. But I would also tell you that they're totally overwhelmed. I mean, this is a large and growing population in a place where there's not very clear jurisdiction, and they're playing it by ear, and they're doing a tremendous humanitarian work, but they're really the victim of much larger forces.
And Ruth, you're going to be speaking, both of you will be speaking at the forum tomorrow night. If there was a specific solution to this, what would be the first step? What would you like to see happen?
Well, just today, this is the first time I've met Ev, and listening to him, I have not heard many of the things that he's saying, and I don't know how that's going to impact our programming. I just know it's going to have some impact on that, and so that dialogue, I think, is so critical on topics that we don't normally talk about like this. And so tomorrow's going to be huge.
All right, and we'll have to see what you say tomorrow night. So, because I want to let people know that the free public forum, Homelessness in San Diego, What Makes Good Neighbors, starts at 6 p.m. Wednesday night at the University of San Diego's Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice. Ev Mead and Ruth Brulin, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for having us.